Welcome back to the Home Run. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tackling Basketball Podcast. My name is Evan.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Micah.
We are finally back after a month-long hiatus. It's been a minute.
I mean, it would be 1 month if we had released the last podcast, but instead it's a month and a week, I think.
I mean, not too much has happened, so
Yeah.
it's not.
Just the NBA Finals and NBA free agency and the WNBA season and Copa America and the Euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So not too much, really. Just not a whole lot in the sports world. But with that in mind, rather than doing toast and roast, we're just going to do a what we missed section because there's quite a bit, and we want to talk about it because we're a bit narcissistic. So we're going to kick things off. Quick chat about the NBA Finals. It's been, I think, literally a month at this point, so not much for us to add that already hasn't been said. Mm-hmm. Congrats to the Celtics. Everybody thought they were going to win the finals anyway, so...
And it was boring.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Wasn't a sweep, though.
It was not a sweep.
So,
Yeah. I called it, though. Every single game would be a blowout.
yeah.
I just didn't think it... I was optimistic that it would take longer than 5.
Yeah, that was the hope. But apparently Kyrie Irving can still not play in Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of an embarrassing showing all 3 games.
Yeah. He has still never once won a game in Boston, right? Since he left.
Leaving, yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
It's amazing.
Oh, that was the free Luka series right there. Like poor Luka doing everything that he could to try and win that series, and everybody else in the Mavericks just going, eh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a free Luka. It's
It's
actually
not-
built
it's-
around him.
it's
You
not-
made it to the
Yeah,
finals.
it's not free Luka. I think Luka should
It's not
stay in
Kemba
Dallas.
Walker, who
And
just
he-
never
yeah.
made playoffs.
Yeah. It's not free Luka. It's more just like it was the series that proved, okay, Luka is the heart and soul of the team, and you have done a crap job of giving him what he needs to actually go win a title. Like, because if we're being honest, the fact that they made it to the finals was a miracle.
Yeah.
Like, they should never in a million years made it to the NBA finals, but they did.
There were probably 4 teams in the West who were better than them.
Yeah, and then they got dog walked by the Celtics, who, in fairness, I think the Celtics would have kicked most people's asses because
Yeah.
it was the Celtics. But
Yeah, they fully showed who they were. Like, they are that team. And they came out every game except for one. And
Yeah.
was just the best team that we've seen in a very long time.
yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Jaylen Brown winning Finals MVP.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And somehow Jason Tatum is the cover player for the next 2K game.
I mean, he is the best player on the team, but yeah. Honestly, that was just
And-
a testament to how incredible that team was built.
Yeah.
That I think it was 7-4 votes went to Jaylen Brown, and a lot of people were like considering Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
And if
I
Kristaps
know.
was fully healthy, he probably would have been in the mix. Just an absurd amount of talent
Yeah.
that is good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, Derek White got to be on Team USA as a replacement over Jaylen Brown. So,
Man, also shout out to Derek White for just taking it in the face and continue to play. That was gnarly how he looked afterwards.
not much of a comparison because he already looked gnarly before, but
But it just got worse.
all right, let's switch over to NBA free agency, though, stuff that's a bit more recent and relevant.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. We're not going to go through everything because there's been a lot, but we'll go through some stuff. Biggest one, of course, PG to the 76ers, 4-year, $212 million deal. What do you guys think?
It makes me laugh so much that the Clippers just absolutely failed during the entire run. And honestly, that's probably my biggest takeaway from this. even though, like, this is a big signing for the 76ers, I think it's probably about fair value, and I'm not certain it necessarily moves the needle to the point where they are better than... I certainly don't think they're better than the Celtics now. I might even still put the Bucks over them. But what's really the big takeaway for me is that the Clippers got absolutely nothing from that trade and signing that they did with Kawhi and Paul George.
Yeah, and they lost Shy Guy in the process of it.
They did.
And honestly, this couldn't come at a worse time for the Clippers, who are rebranding, building a new stadium, putting so much money into just the actual franchise of it.
Yeah.
And then are losing probably their best player. Kawhi had a really good year, actually stayed healthy this year. But then he, like, hinted at retirement. Like, if he's gone, they're just left with Harden and... I don't remember if Russell Westbrook is still on the team or not.
He is.
But
He's a free agency. He
resigned.
Oh, he did? Oh.
yeah. Doesn't matter. They're a bad team.
Yeah.
They got Zubats, man.
They do got Zubac.
Yeah, it's... this definitely makes the 76ers better. I'll take PG over Tobias Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Any day. So the 76ers will get better. Like I said, I still don't think I put them above the Celtics. I think if the Bucks play their cards right this offseason, I still think I like the Bucks a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing for me is, like, just based on talent alone, I would still put Celtics, but I would put Philly pretty darn close. But you have to factor in health, and I don't think I will ever actually trust Philly again as long as...
No.
Embiid is there. Paul George has been not near as bad, but still kind of injury prone. And you had, like, I think the Philadelphia team with Jimmy Butler was better than what it is now, and they weren't able to get it done.
Yeah.
So, like, by all means, they could have a bout of healthiness, and they will be terrifying for every team, even Boston. But that is a huge if they are healthy, and I just don't believe they ever will be.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, the other, I think I would consider it probably the second biggest splash. Klay Thompson, the Dallas Mavericks, 3-year, $50 million. We talked a little bit about this before the pod, that for the Warriors, yes, it obviously sucks. I think if you're a Warriors fan, it is a bit sad to not get to see Steph and Klay play out their entire careers together. It's the Splash Bros have been broken up. For the Mavericks, to be fair, 3-year, $50 million is pretty solid value, I think, for Klay. They definitely didn't overpay for him, which is good. But, like, I'm just not sure he's what they needed.
Right. He had a weak season.
It just feels weird. Like we said, defensively, Klay is great. So if all you're counting on is his defense, sure, I guess. But it's Klay Thompson.
If he gets his shooting back, he's exactly what they need, I think.
Oh, for sure. But the likelihood in that, like, he was just so bad this past season.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's fair value, but I do agree it's not what they need. And when you just kind of flamed out in the finals, all you should be doing is figuring out what you have to do to be the best team and win the finals. And I don't think that's the move to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not an overpayment, but that's money that you can't spend on someone else. And I don't think Klay Thompson's really moving the needle for them, especially losing Derrick Jones Jr. and whoever else they lost. Like, I don't think Thompson covers that by any means.
And I mean, just team building wise, I feel like the only way this makes sense is if you plan on having Klay essentially lead your second unit. But at 3 years, $50 million, there's no way you don't have him start. Also, just with the fact that 3 is like their weakest spot on their roster right now, so they're probably just going to plug him in right there.
Yeah.
But like with where Klay is in his career, leading the second unit, beautiful. Like, that would be awesome if you could have him come in and just lead that group. But that's not what they're going to have him do, at least not likely.
Right.
So yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know. Like, again, I don't hate it for the Mavericks. It's more just confusing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if I'm Luka, it's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
And there's also just, like, for Klay, I feel like there's other spots that would be better for him to go. Like, I feel like Lakers could have used him a lot, just having a shooter. Philadelphia, I think, could have used him after losing Buddy Hield as just someone who can spot up and make some threes. But like, you've already got two unbelievable scorers. It's like, yeah, it's always great to have a wing shooter. Like, that's great for every team. But I feel like he could have been used better in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Speaking of Buddy Hield, we'll just roll right into that one. Buddy Hield signs with the Warriors to replace Klay Thompson. Mm-hmm. And gotta say, based off of last season's production, heck of a job by the Warriors to just go out and immediately snag someone who I think is an upgrade over Klay Thompson from last year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think is going to play beautifully next to Steph Curry. Like, that's a match made in heaven, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's incredible for Golden State. They definitely got an upgrade. It'll be weird having him be the running mate for Steph and not Klay. And
yeah, for sure.
The locker room is going to be different, and it's going to be a little weird to start off. But just talent-wise and where Klay and Buddy are at their career, that is a massive upgrade, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
Sucks for Philly, though.
Yeah, it does. Next up, we'll go with Contavious Caldwell-Pope. And Jonathan, this is yours. Feel like we all agreed, kind of indifferent about him signing with the Magic. Like, good for the Magic, I guess. This is more of the impact it has on the Nuggets about him leaving. Jonathan, take it away.
Yeah, the Nuggets didn't want to take this deal at $22 million a year, in large part because of the second apron and the restrictions that imposes. It would mean that they could receive no money, or they could not receive any more money back in a trade than they would give up. They would have zero exceptions to sign players in free agency. And they would also, since I believe it would be their second year in the second apron, they would be forfeiting their 2031 first-round pick. And that was just too high of a price to pay. But it is still, like, they still have to pay something. And in this case, it's Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who was a key part of these last 2 years for the Nuggets. He did well to contribute, especially on the defensive end in that title run. And frankly, while the Nuggets were sleepwalking this postseason, he was one of the few players who did everything he could to try and wake them back up and actually lead the offense a little bit. So this one will hurt. There is hope that the GM's decision to sort of draft and develop instead of acquire talent through free agency and trades as much, that decision will fruit this year, that maybe we'll see a development of guys like Christian Brown or Peyton Watson, maybe Julian Strother giving a little bit of offensive edge, but it's going to be tough to replace, and I don't think any single player on this roster is going to be able to do the full brunt of it. So you're going to have to figure out.
You know who they need to go get to replace him? Austin Rivers.
I thought you were going to say Austin Reeves at first, and I was like,
so too.
I mean, like, that wouldn't be that. I think he'd fit in great. But no, yeah, not Rivers. Get Doc while you're at it.
Yeah, it stinks for the Nuggets. It's going to take some work to replace them, hopefully.
Especially after losing Bruce Brown last season, too.
Yeah. So,
that's two huge defensive pieces that are going out. Now, you have a couple of defensive guys that are younger in Christian Brown and Peyton Watson who have been really strong in that area recently, but haven't gotten as much of a chance in the playoffs. So maybe they step up and fill in some of that hole, but
they'll need to.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yep. All right. Well, now we'll go to contract extensions. Again, a whole slew of them. We're not going to talk about them all because some of them just don't matter in the grand scheme of things. First one we will talk about, though, is Jalen Brunson's extension with the New York Knicks. 4 years, $156.6 million, taking a major pay cut.
$113 million that he could have gotten that he left on the table.
Yep, exactly. So taking a huge pay cut because he wants to win a championship and he wants the Knicks to spend that money elsewhere to build around him, build around Mitchell Robinson, rest of that team.
And stays out of the second apron, which is
Yeah.
a massive
Yeah.
part.
So
I know we're not doing toast and roast, but massive toast to Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this guy, in my opinion, was the greatest player in the playoffs last season. Like, and even if you disagree with that, I doubt anyone's, like, arguing top 3. Like, what he did in the playoffs was unbelievable. And he took $113 million less dollars than he could have. And granted, he's getting paid a shit ton of money. He's fine.
Yeah,
but still,
$156 million is still a lot of money.
yeah, but this is still something that no one has ever done.
Yeah,
And, like,
at least not in recent memory. Yeah,
right. Like, like, this move by itself, even if Knicks never win a championship or do anything, Jalen Brunson will be beloved by the Knicks for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything he could do that would lose him or, like, be a villain.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. And getting Mikal Bridges in the process, or not in the process, but at the same time, is a huge upgrade for Knicks. They're like, Knicks are going to be so good.
Yeah, toast to the Knicks, because the Knicks, and I know we've joked that it's fun to have a team in the NBA who's just consistently bad, and for the longest time it was the Knicks, and it's kind of fun to see a big market team constantly fail. But at the same time, I do think it's good for the league and healthy for the NBA to have a New York team that is competitive and good.
And it's sure as hell not going to be the Nets.
Yeah, so, and it's definitely not the Nets. And for the longest time, until Kevin Durant came there, the Nets were one of the worst teams in the NBA for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be fun to have a New York team be good again, have that competitiveness, have MSG bumping, and have that atmosphere back again like it was during the Melo days. And so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So, and thanks to Jalen Brunson for making that possible. All right, next one. Jason Tatum's extension. Not much to talk about here except for the fact that it's the biggest contract in NBA history. 5 years, $314 million. Mother of God.
And it will be the second biggest next year.
Yeah, and
then the third biggest the year after.
Yeah, and it won't stay the biggest for long. One of those situations, though, where you hear that Jason Tatum got the biggest contract in NBA history, and you kind of go, yeah. Like, it's not a huge shock, except for the fact that he kind of crapped out in the postseason.
Yeah.
And for being honest, like...
I wouldn't say crapped out. He underperformed.
Crapped out compared to his standards.
Yeah.
He crapped out.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that you might be a little surprised is, in my mind, if he's top 5, he's 5 in the league. But, like, in this age where you have to pay max money to the 15th best guy in the league, it's not a shocker. His was just the contract that expired this year, and so he's the one that got the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That just means, though, that we're going to continue to see him just impersonate Kobe for the entire rest of his career, and it drives me mad. Jason, you're your own human. You don't have to be Kobe Bryant.
And you're barely like him at all.
Yeah, you really aren't at all, honestly.
You're a very good basketball player. That's the end of similarities.
All right, and then the final extension we'll talk about is the Miles Bridges extension. 3 years, $75 million with the Hornets. Only thing happening here is just the fact that not long ago, Miles Bridges was accused of, domestic violence?
I mean, he was in jail.
Yeah, he was in jail for a little bit. His case got thrown out. So he's, good now. But it just...
He changed his number.
Yeah. But it's just...
Now he's like Kobe.
In the grand scheme of the NBA, 3 years, $75 million is not a big contract. It's $25 million a year, which isn't huge. But at the same time, paying $25 million a year for a guy who hasn't played a whole lot over the past year and a half, and who has shown that he has a propensity to maybe have some issues, is a very Hornets move to me.
He's got big upside, I think. And when you're the Hornets, you have to bid on upside. But
yeah, I mean, his entire personality and what he does off the court aside, he's a great basketball player. If he wasn't a dirtbag and was constantly in legal trouble, he would be getting paid more. So, it's kind of like a bad look for the Hornets to have him in general, but purely talent-wise to get him at this number is pretty good.
It's fair. All right. Over to trades now, and we got 4 lined up that we'll talk about here. First one, probably... Well, we won't talk about biggest, but DeJounte Murray traded to the Pelicans for Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, and EJ Liddell, and 2 firsts, which is good because I've never heard of 2 of those guys, and Larry Nance Jr. is Larry Nance Jr. So,
Dyson Daniels is fine.
Yeah. So, for this one, let's see, who do you think won this trade between the Hawks and the Pelicans? And just overall, what do you guys think?
I mean, I'd say Pelicans. I love this for New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in how their season ended last year. Again, they're another team that's like constantly struggling with injuries and health. But again, if you get Zion and BI healthy, and now you're throwing DeJounte Murray and having CJ as just someone who can shoot and score, especially in the mid-range, like that's an incredible team.
Yeah.
So I love this for New Orleans. I hope it works out. Also for the Hawks, like, yeah, you needed to move on from either him or Trey.
I would have moved on from Trey.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to make a really bold statement right now. The Hawks are the biggest victim in the NBA of the new CBA. And the reason I say that is because of the introduction of the second apron and all of the tax restrictions that are coming with the new CBA. Players like Trae Young, who will almost certainly command a max or near max deal, but do not feel like they probably deserve it, are somewhat of a cancer to organizations now. Nobody wants to trade for him because nobody wants to pay him the extension. And so the Hawks, who need to move on, who need to acquire future assets, can't get off of Trae Young, who is their best asset, and are instead forced to trade a really good player in DeJounte Murray for second best asset value and picks, even though he probably should command more than that. So the Hawks, I'm sure they would have preferred to get off of Trae Young too. There just wasn't enough of a market for him.
Yeah, it's fair.
But they did get the first overall, so it all works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
In the worst, the least top-heavy draft in the last
Still,
decade.
They should have been 8.
They should have.
All right, next one up, we hinted at it a little bit. Mikal Bridges to the Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic. Oh, you didn't put commas. That messes me up. Mamadi Diakite and Shake Milton. And 5 firsts and a pick.
Yeah, there was a lot of picks. Knicks also got some people back. I thought you were going to adjust this.
I said, can I buy a comma, please?
Most importantly, it's Mikal Bridges for Bojan Bogdanovic and a shit ton of picks, which I think is great for the Knicks. They got to start. They got to make some moves to get over the hump. Mm-hmm. Again, they're another team that made moves that I don't think are going to put them above Boston, because that's an incredibly hard thing to do. But, I mean, honestly, based on how the Bucks played last season, given Philly's injury proneness, I might put them as the second best team in the East. I really like Mikal. I love pairing him with those other guys. They're actually going to be healthy, get a healthy Julius Randle.
I was going to say, they made that playoff run without Julius Randle, too.
Yeah.
They're easily their second best player on their team behind Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm. And, actually going to be able to get, Josh Hart and DiVincenzo off the bench where they should be is unbelievable, because they're balling out as starters in the playoffs, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I love this for the Knicks. I think they're going to be really, really good. And then for the Nets, I mean, I don't ever know what they're doing as an organization. They were like a weird, young, fun team, and then threw all of it away to get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden, which you do. 10 out of 10 times you make those trades, because who wouldn't want those people? And now they're figuring out what to do next. And I guess it's just fully blowing it up while keeping Claxton, who we didn't talk about, but I love Claxton. So shout out Claxton getting a 2-year extension.
Dude, I feel so bad for Bojan Bogdanovic. This poor man. He's been passed around the league like crazy. But he was on the Brooklyn Nets from 2014 to 2017. Easily the most depressing era in Brooklyn Nets history. He then went to the Washington Wizards. Then to the Pacers from 2017 to 2019 when the Pacers sucked.
Then to Detroit?
No, then to the Jazz from 2019 to 2022 where they were decent and a playoff team. And then he was on the Pistons for 2 years. He got traded at the halfway point this past year to the Knicks. Now he's back on the Nets. So he suffered with the Pistons, went to a good team and went, yay! And then immediately back to one of the worst teams in the league. This poor man.
He was actually the player in that Game of Zones episode where all the Nets players were like, they announced a trade. Everyone was hoping it was going to be them. It was like, Bojan Bogdanovic, you're going to Utah. So, oh my God, really? Oh, I'm so sad. No, that's so sad. Gets outside. Oh my God, yes! Finally.
Oh, they have so many wins. Oh, I miss Game of Zones.
Yeah,
I wish
that back.
I wish Bleacher Report did something for House of the Dragon. That would have been
Honestly,
beautiful.
yeah.
Missed opportunity by Bleacher Report, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next trade. This one I actually fixed because I think this one is even more confusing than the way Mike wrote it. DeMar DeRozan to the Sacramento Kings in a sign-in trade. Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte wound up going to the San Antonio Spurs, and then the Chicago Bulls got 2 second-round picks and cash, the most important asset of this entire deal. I guess we'll start it out with the Kings and DeMar DeRozan. I like this for the Kings. I think DeMar DeRozan fits in well with Sabonis and with De'Aaron Fox. I think it's going to be nice for DeMar because in this case, he is now the third guy on this team. Like Sabonis and Fox are ahead of him in the picking order for scoring. And I think at this point in his career, that's what DeRozan needs. But he can still drop 20 points per game on a dime.
I mean,
easy.
He was on my fringe all-star list.
Yeah.
Like, he was really, really good last season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, pretty much 11 out of the 15 teams in the West are trying to win and have a lot of talent. And they're just another team that got better and added a piece that they needed to do. So
exactly. The only thing I dislike about this is I feel like of what the Kings needed, I would have said 3-point shooting was their biggest thing because De'Aaron Fox he's not bad, but he's not a phenomenal 3-point shooter. Yeah. And DeMar DeRozan is not a 3-point shooter at
Harrison
all.
Barnes is a better 3-point shooter than that.
Exactly. Yeah. So to a certain degree, it is almost like you kind of have the same player in Fox and DeRozan, with DeRozan just being a little bit older.
Yeah.
But I still think this makes their team better. Definitely doesn't push them over the hump. They're not going to be better than the Nuggets. I don't think they're going to be better than the Suns if the Suns figure it out. Not going to be better than... Well, that might be it. Probably not better than the Mavericks. But they'll be solid. I think this will definitely make them even more competitive than they were last year.
I mean, they needed to do something, whether it's kind of start to break it up and move things around or just try to win, and they picked a direction. So, good for them.
Yep. For the Spurs, they get Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte.
I like they got a veteran. They needed some older players on their team. They were a shit show last year.
They traded an old as heck guy for another old as heck guy that can shoot threes.
DeRozan was on the Bulls.
Huh?
DeRozan was on the Bulls.
Oh, that's right. He's on. He was on the Spurs a year ago. I keep forgetting about that. But I like. Yeah, Harrison Barnes being on the Spurs is good. Obviously, the Spurs are likely still going to suck.
And another signing we didn't talk about, Chris Paul to San Antonio. I absolutely love. I respect that he fully gave up on getting a championship ever in his career. But
joke's on you. Chris Paul's going to play till he's 50.
But like for Wemby, there's not a lot of players I would have rather seen Wemby paired with. Like you get the best passer, and last year you were surrounded by people who wouldn't pass you the ball for some unexplainable reason. Yeah, and now you get historically one of the best passing point guards in the league. And an incredible veteran to start bringing Wemby and some of these other younger players up. And Harrison Barnes is a veteran. I think, like, obviously these aren't moves that are going to make San Antonio really good, but it's going to develop those young players, which they desperately needed. So I love this offseason for the Spurs.
Yeah. And Chris Duarte is a solid
Oh, yeah, he can shoot.
guy to add as well. Like,
Yeah.
good second team guy. Well, although for the Spurs, he might be a starter.
Oh, he's for sure a starter.
And then the Bulls, like,
Bulls need to move on. They need to destroy
Like-
their team. Good for them.
yeah, good for them, but it also just sucks when a team gets in this position where it's like, realistically, you probably could have gotten a little bit more for DeMar DeRozan, but everybody knows that you don't want him or need him,
Yeah.
so no one's going to pay premium price because you have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So, all right, now for this one, Alex Caruso traded the Oklahoma City Thunder for the child rapist. I mean Josh Giddey. This one is just like, I know the stuff
Good
is
for the Thunder.
I know the stuff has been dropped against Josh, but I don't know. This one's just weird.
Honestly, this is
Like,
He wasn't good in their locker room anymore either.
I like it for the Thunder. For the Bulls, this confuses the hell out of me.
honestly, I love it for both teams.
Really?
Yeah.
One, I love that this is actually just a player-for-player trade, which we never see anymore. And I think it actually benefits both teams. Because one of the biggest things for Giddey was Dagnall came to him and was like, hey, we're not going to have you as a starter anymore. It just doesn't make sense. We have so much talent. We really want you as our secondary. Like, you'd be really good for that. We want you to lead that, but you're not going to be a starter. And he said, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so he's going to a team where now he can flourish and shine and be kind of the guy behind Zach LaVine. And who knows what they're going to do with Vucevic. And then for OKC, you get an incredible defensive guard who's just a little scrappy little piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
Little guy.
like OKC got better and Chicago got younger, and I think both of them did what they should have done. I love this trade.
All right, fair.
Moving on.
All right, and the last one, I highlighted it, but we'll talk about it. Danny Avdija to the Blazers for Malcolm Brogdon and 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Cronin, what are we doing? But, Micah, really quick, what are your thoughts?
I'm confused. I like Joe Cronin. I'm putting my faith in him. I hope he knows what he's doing.
I think this is the first move of the Cronin era where I'm legitimately like, what the hell are we doing? Like, everything else has been like, there's been a couple of things where it's like, okay, I wish we could have done more, but like, all right, this is the one where it's like, what?
I think, like, my whole expectation with Brogdon, I thought we should have traded him last year at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And my whole thought process was we can get rid of him, get some more picks, get some young players for a team that's trying to win now and just needs another piece. Like, he's not Drew Holiday by any means, but he's a solid enough player. And then he went to the Wizards, which, what the fuck are the Wizards doing?
Yeah.
And we lost 4 picks in the process.
I mean, that's what the Wizards are doing.
Yeah. Like, I like Denny. I'm excited. I think he can fit in with the team well. I think he's in a position that we kind of need. On Reddit, a lot of Wizards fans were upset, so that makes me feel better. But I'm pretty confused.
Yeah, same. But like we said, in Joe Cronin we trust.
Yeah. That's all we can do.
All right, next up on the agenda, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark Rookie of the Year race. Currently, over the past couple of weeks, ESPN has been kind of flaunting Angel Reese and has been saying that she is now
Very
kind of
much so.
the rookie leader. I think betting lines still favor Caitlin Clark at the moment, but the gap has closed significantly over the past couple of weeks. It's exciting to see, but in my mind, I'm just not sure I see why the gap has closed so much between the two. Micah seems to have a different opinion than that, but
I want you guys to go first. I've been talking a lot.
in my mind, like, yes, Angel Reese has been amazing. I think she now holds the record for most consecutive double-doubles in the WNBA season. Which
15
is,
straight.
Yeah. Very impressive, obviously. Like, there's been instances where she was very clearly stat padding, but still
how many
impressive
of those
regardless.
rebounds were off of her own misses?
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing, though, is that, like, offensively, she has a very low shooting percentage.
Yeah.
I just think
impressively low for how close to the basket she shoots, too.
Yeah. When it just comes down to who's contributing more to their team and who's having a bigger impact, I just feel like Caitlin Clark is miles ahead in my mind.
First rookie triple-double ever.
Well, yeah. Like one of the things that people are hanging on is the fact, like, oh, Angel Reese is going to break the turnover record. And it's like, okay, if you watch those games, there are so many turnovers that would never happen if she had good teammates who could catch a basketball around her. There are so many that just are beautiful, perfect passes that, like, any other player would dream of getting to them, and her teammates just fumble them and drop them and turn it over. And because of the way that basketball measures turnovers, like, unfortunately, Caitlin is marked with those, but they weren't really her fault. And she has so many turnovers because she's a great distributor and is always looking to get the ball where it needs to go to score points. And her team just sucks. So it's such a stupid thing to, like, use that against Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it's kind of the same. Like, breaking the turnover record didn't stop James Harden from winning an MVP. Why? Because he did so much else on top of the turnovers. And again, some of those turnovers were his teammates doing dumb stuff and messing up a play.
Yep. I mean, he had some
bad ones too.
Really bad.
Caitlin has had some bad ones too. But it's when you're that much of a distributor, when you're trying to drive the offense, mistakes happen, turnovers happen. Like, it's just part of the game of basketball.
Right.
So,
you have anything to add?
I was adding in line.
Oh.
Micah.
I agree. I do think Caitlin should be the rookie of the year at this point. I wouldn't say by miles, like you were saying. I really enjoy watching Angel Reese play. You can say a lot of those rebounds came off of misses, and her field goal percentage is horrible. And some of the times that she barely got to those double-doubles was her needing points, which is weird. But also, she was like the 6th or 7th pick, and she's doing really well. She's kind of leading Chicago. And I think she's a blast to watch. I think she's really solid. I think she's getting way more hate from people than she deserves. But I don't know. Obviously, Caitlin Clark's better. But honestly, I think the most important thing in this, and the reason why I'm so glad this race is tight, is because this is incredible for the WNBA. Like, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were rivals in college. And now, like, they're fighting for the Rookie of the Year award. Like, this is going to be a rivalry for their entire careers where they're just, like, kind of pit against each other. And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I love this.
Yeah.
As long as people are being smart with their arguments. Yeah. Which not a lot of people are.
Very few people are.
For sure. All right. The last thing I had down, and this is me being selfish, talking about the Grimace era Mets. Have you guys paid attention to this?
Not a clue.
So
I mean, I know who Grimace is and I know who the Mets are.
So on June 12th, Grimace threw out the first pitch at a New York Mets game. Prior to that first pitch.
Why?
I don't know why. Oh, it was to announce, like, so the New York Mets City Edition uniforms have purple in them, and I think it was meant to play on the City Edition thing. It was the first time they wore the new purples, so that was that. Prior to that first pitch, the Mets were 25-39. They were the second worst team in the National League, had one of the worst offenses in the MLB. Since that game, since that first pitch, the New York Mets have the best record in the major leagues. They have hit the most home runs. They have the highest slugging, highest on base, and most runs per game of any team in the MLB. And they are currently third in the National League wild card race.
And they just lost to the Rockies, so
they beat you 2 out of 3 times.
But that third time was embarrassing.
Not really. It was against our worst pitcher. So I just want to say, God bless Grimace.
Man, I love weird stuff like this. Like when Klay Thompson signed to Toaster, they just went on an unbelievable run.
Right.
Well, that was the best part. Grimmett started the first pitch. The Mets went 8-0 to start it out.
That's awesome.
It is phenomenal. And it's so good to see. I'm glad that one of my teams is good. We'll see how the Packers do. The Blazers will do F all this next season, but
I can see
it's
them
just been
getting
fun. The
14th
other
in the
thing,
West.
I'll show you the photo. The other just fun thing with the Mets right now is this guy right here, Jose Iglesias, is
That
the
looks
Mets.
photoshopped.
Is the Mets
What, the big OMG?
is the Mets backup second baseman. He is also a Latin American singer and had a song come out a couple weeks ago called OMG. So he performed it live at Citi Field after a game. The Mets' new home run celebration is the OMG sign. The team is just so much fun right now. I absolutely love it.
The vibes are good.
Yeah, the vibes are good. It's just fun to
Immaculate.
see. Pete Alonso just crapped the bed in the home run derby,
Oh, that
unfortunately.
was so bad.
But it's just nice to see the Mets be fun and be happy and doing well. So yeah, that was it for me.
All right. Cool.
Shifting over to a segment that we haven't done in a little while. What's more likely? And I have some ones. Jonathan has some ones. Jonathan has ones though that he requested all happen in a row rather than intertwining. So,
That's good, because I was not prepped for this.
Yeah, it's fine. So I will kick things off, Jonathan. I'll do my three first, and then I'll hand it over to you. So we will start out with this. Here, I'll do slideshow. Jonathan, Micah,
Yeah.
of these four teams, which team is the most likely to win its first ever franchise Super Bowl?
This year
This
or
year.
next?
This year, between the Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills, Houston Texans, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think for me, it's probably the Bills. They still have a fairly complete roster. They're starting to get a couple of holes that they didn't have before in like wide receiver. Like Josh Allen doesn't have a lot of people to throw the ball to, but they have a top 5 quarterback in the league that has been that sustainably for a few years now, as well as a lot of talent on both sides of the ball to support him. And I think that the Texans, if you ask me who's the most likely to do it within the next 5 years, it might be them because they're so young and they are showing a lot of promise in their ability to draft, develop, and what the success that they had last year. But I'm not sure if they're quite ready for it this year. And then the Lions, I think that they got a little bit lucky last year as far as their regular season record was concerned, and I do see a little bit of a regression from them. Not a ton, but I don't think that they're going to reach the same heights again. And then the Bengals are going to be injured again, always.
And T. Higgins once out.
And T. Higgins once out.
That was a great sum-uppance. I agree with all of that. Like, I would want the Texans to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I just think they're too young this year. I don't know if I see the Lions necessarily getting worse, but I don't really see them getting better. And then Bengals is just, I think, kind of like with the Philadelphia 76ers, like you're just putting too much hope in the health of some players who rarely show it. So, yeah, Josh Allen's really good.
Yep.
They got some talent.
I think I would actually pick the Lions.
Yeah.
Out of these four. I think, the main thing is I think them and the Bills would be close, but the Bills' wide receiving core is just such a question mark and so bad in comparison. The Detroit Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have a lot of good guys. And taking into consideration that this just came out like a week ago, Amon-Ra St. Brown played the entire second half and the postseason with a torn quad.
Ooh.
And was still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get a healthy Amon-Ra St. Brown, supposedly, for a full season. I think they continue to draft well. Jahmyr Gibbs looks amazing. They still have David Montgomery. Their run game is really strong. Their defense is where they needed help, and they, through the draft, bolstered that defense.
Yeah. They're well coached.
And they're very well coached. And then also, just to take into consideration, the AFC is way harder than the NFC right now. I think realistically in the NFC, obviously you have the 49ers, I think are everybody's front runner. They're up there. The Packers are definitely going to give them a challenge in the NFC North.
The Eagles.
The Eagles might, but the Eagles kind of looked meh last year, honestly. The Cowboys legit don't have a running back right now.
Yeah.
And then Dak also was shown in a walking boot a couple weeks ago. We don't know exactly what's going on with that.
He was just prepping his excuses, I think.
Yeah, and then it's also the Cowboys, and as soon as the Cowboys get to the postseason, I don't worry about them against anybody. So the NFC is a lot easier to get through to the Super Bowl than the AFC. And then, so I don't know. I just like the Lions. So,
Yeah.
all right, next one up. Which player is more likely to win their first NBA MVP award this next season? Luka Doncic or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? And Jonathan, you can't say neither because Jokic is going to win it.
I wasn't going to. I think that Jokic is going to have a huge uphill battle for it. I think that Embiid is going to have actually a bigger uphill battle than Jokic will, based on his repeated playoff failures, and it's just becoming too much at this point. I think that the third name that you didn't mention here that I think has a chance to steal it away from him is Anthony Edwards. Who shocked the world in the playoffs this last season and gained a lot of respect. And I think his game is really conducive for the MVP award. But I do think that these are the correct two front runners, actually. And I will lean towards SGA for the main reason being that his game, his style of play is more conducive to media voting. He will have a lot of really huge highlight plays, have a lot of really big impact moments. I would personally, this last year, I would have voted Luka over SGA. I think that come the end of this season, I'll say the same thing, but I think that SGA will be the front runner.
I'm actually going to disagree with you on this one. I'm going to go with Luka. I think one thing that's going to be a negative for Shea is I think OKC was number one in the West last season. I think it's going to be really hard to do that again. And if they fall, I feel like people are going to try to use that as an excuse. Also, Luka's just unbelievable. He's been unbelievable forever. I think everyone thinks that it's only a matter of time before he gets at least one MVP. And the longer he doesn't, the better his case is going to be purely for that. And as long as he's still racking up triple doubles, which I don't see him stopping,
right?
I think it's only a matter of time, and I think it'll just take Shea longer. So I go Luka.
So last year, fun fact, real quick, SGA was one of the main reasons that he was viewed in some people's mind as ahead of Luka was he had the most 30-point games in the league. Guess who had the most 31-point games in the league?
Luka?
No, SGA. But guess who had the most 32-point games in the league?
SGA.
Luka. 33-point games? Luka. 34?
Luka.
35?
Jokic?
No, still Luka.
I don't like this game.
So, Luka has the most 32 through 43-point games in the league.
Jeez.
44 is Jalen Brunson. 45 is Luka, and he takes it over again for a while. For some reason, Jalen Brunson just had a ton of 44-point games.
The most New York Knicks thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's awesome.
I think I'll agree with Mike on this one. I think to a certain extent, I feel like NBA MVP is almost kind of like the Oscars, where sometimes there are instances where it's just it's been he's been right there. Give it to him. He 100% deserves it. He's just been beaten out a few times in the past. So I almost feel like this next season, if Luka plays like he did this past year, and you don't have a season again from Jokic to what happened, it's going to be really hard to say no to Luka in that situation. I also think, like I said a little bit last year, that with Shai, you almost have the argument of okay, look at the guys he has around him contributing and helping him out. Look at what Luka is doing almost by himself on the Mavericks. Kyrie was good last year. He was still kind of hit and miss. he was also out a decent amount. Like, Luka carried the Mavericks team, and even with adding Clay, I don't see that changing this next season. So I think he'll have that as well, that no matter where they finish in the standings, Luka can say, yeah, every single win we got was because of me, like, grinding to get that win.
Yeah.
So it's going to be close. Like, if they both play the way they did last season, it's going to be tough. Like, you definitely won't have, like, a unanimous Luka's going to win or unanimous SGA. But, yeah, it's also just time Luka got it, because man's won every other award given the MVP. All right, my final one that I had. What is more likely to be the higher total? Team USA gold medal count at the Olympics or the Charlotte Hornets win count? And for context, at the Tokyo Games, the Team USA took away 48 gold medals.
Oh, yeah.
So this wasn't even me picking like the bottom of the barrel team just to hit on them. This was like find a mediocre meh team. Also, it's just fun to pick on the Hornets because they're the Hornets.
I don't think they'll be mediocre next year. I think they'll be bad.
Yeah, so USA gold medal count
At
just in general.
at Paris.
Okay.
I'm going gold medals. USA.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I don't know much about global Olympic sports right now, so I can't tell you what the trends are, but USA.
Okay, I had to back up one for this because I feel like it should be obvious to pick the Hornets. What if I say the Pacers? Again, remember, the U.S. had 48 in Tokyo.
This is harder because, again, I don't really know much about the Olympics.
I would just say base
I would
around
say
roughly 48.
Over under 48, I'm picking Pacers over.
Yeah, I'd take the Pacers over 48.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, there we have it. Watch the U.S. get like 60 gold.
Right.
All right, Jonathan, over to you for your string of related questions, apparently.
So ESPN right now is working on releasing the top 100 list of athletes in the 21st century.
Oh, God.
Today, they released, the day that we're recording, they released 76 through 100. So a quarter of the list. And I'll give some stats from this section, and then I'll ask you predictively what you think will happen with the rest of the list.
Okay.
So real quickly, of the four major North American sports, and I'm including WNBA because it's basketball is the major sport, not the sports leagues.
Okay. I was like, what are you kicking
Yeah,
out?
I was like what?
So of the four major sports, either gender,
What do you consider the fourth? Soccer or hockey?
hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just confirming.
These four major sports have 13 of the 25 named players in this first quarter. For baseball, there are 3. You have Bryce Harper at 79, Roy Halladay at 88, and Pedro Martinez at 92. I know. We're going to roast them later. I know.
This list is already invalid, mother of God.
The NBA has 2 players so far. At 83, you have Chris Paul. At 85, you have Kawhi Leonard. And I'm already a little bit confused at the order.
21st century. Okay. So
21st century,
Since
yeah.
2000.
Since 2000.
I'm still not sure about... There better be a lot of NBA players at the top of this list, otherwise...
And who was higher between Chris Paul?
Chris Paul was higher.
By 2 spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as Chris Paul's higher. If he was lower, that would be a problem.
Kawhi has 2 finals MVPs.
He does.
Like, I get
Yeah.
the point guard, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, continue.
WNBA has 3. At spot 81 is Cheryl Swoops. At 84 is Lauren Jackson. And at 90 is Asia Wilson.
Ooh.
NFL has 4 so far. At 91 is Aaron Rodgers. 96 is Darrelle Revis. 99 is Ed Reed. And 100 is Charles Woodson. And already I'm like, holy hell. The names that, like, some of these names I'm shocked are past, like, below 75. and I am certain I'll be surprised at some people that get left off the list.
Bold take. I think Charles Woodson should have been the highest NFL player out of those three. Out of those four.
Maybe. And lastly, the NHL had only one player.
Swear to God, you say Wayne Gretzky.
So he didn't play in the 21st century. He retired in '99. The player is
Ovechkin.
Connor McDavid, who has won 4 of the. My screen just froze. He won 4 awards. No, he's not.
Is he?
No, the dude's been destroying the league, and I think he's 5th or 6th year. No, he's 7th year. So he has 4-time MVP. He is 6-time scoring leader. He is he's also the 1-time Conn Smythe Award winner. Conn Smythe, so you know, is effectively the Finals MVP.
Okay, I knew that. I appreciate you explaining to Evan, though.
But guess what? He is only the 4th or 6th, I don't remember, to ever win it on the team that lost in the championship.
Oh my God.
He was that good that he won it in a game in a series that his team lost.
Jeez.
And he is ranked 98th on this list.
My goodness.
Other sports that are represented in this quarter section include golf, soccer, gymnastics, tennis, track, boxing, MMA, and cricket.
Was Simone Biles the gymnastic?
No.
What the fuck?
We haven't learned to the top 75 yet.
Right.
Okay. I get that Connor McDavid is really good. I could see him being higher in the quarter that they've listed so far. But when you take into account how many phenomenal tennis and especially soccer players they have been, both men's and women's, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's like the top athletes, there have been some freak athlete soccer stars out there.
Yeah.
So, like, him being that low in this quarter is a bit egregious, but overall, we'll see. Granted,
Right.
to be fair, them having Pedro that low is freaking insanity, but whatever.
So I have 4 questions for you related to this list.
Okay.
All of them predictive about what will happen. So my first one for you is, what's more likely, or which group is more likely to have more players named to the final list? Major 4 sports or the field?
The field. Hands down.
Right now, Major 4 sports leads it by 1.
I think, God, you say it's ESPN?
It is.
Oh, that changes it, though. I would say if this was an unbiased, like, person who, or group who consumes all sports, I would say the field, but ESPN is definitely American sports biased, so I might take Major 4 sports. I think if you're being realistic, you should take the field. Because in my mind, I think if I were to name my...
this on the web.
Shut up, Siri. I think if I were to name my top 10 right now, athletes of all time, I think there would be 3 from Major 4 sports.
Wow. Would Joey Chestnut be in the top?
Okay, well, if we're going there, he's number 1. Right?
He is the definition of dominant.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to go with the field. I feel like not only do you have so many soccer stars, but also just like Olympians
That's my thing.
in general. Like, there are so many just beyond dominant Olympians in their field and so many different
Yeah.
events.
We haven't even had any swimming yet appear on the list. There's certainly going to be at least 3 people that make the list in my mind.
Yeah.
Who's your third?
Ledecky.
Who's your second?
Oh, yeah. Ledecky was my
Locke.
second. Oh, yeah.
Lochte?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think that they'll include him in the top
They'll
75?
probably include him. I'm surprised you said Ledecky was your third. Ledecky's
I wasn't
miles
sure.
ahead of
Yeah.
Lochte. I immediately assumed Phelps Ledecky.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Considering that Ledecky, every time she swims, she breaks her record.
Yeah.
Just going to say now, they better have Ryan Krauser on there, who is the Olympic and world record holder in shot put. I forget what the exact distance is. There's only been like 7 or 8 times that this distance has been thrown, and 6 of them are him.
Yeah.
And he graduated from my high school like 3 years before I joined.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ryan Krauser, high school, Micah.
Ryan Krauser's the GOAT.
They can find you. All right. I think I agree with your sentiments.
Yeah.
Second question. Will any athlete that started their professional career in the 2020s make the list?
Ooh, 2020s.
Professional career. Immediately, my mind goes to Caitlin Clark.
I know. I
like-
don't think she'll make it.
I feel like if she would have made it, she would have been
here
in this quarter.
Yeah. And then, I don't think any NBA players, especially knowing the ones that are on the list, will make it from these last 4 years.
Right, because you're saying better in...
You're saying better than
since
Kawhi
2000,
and
better
Chris
than-
Paul's
Yeah,
careers.
you can't put... the only player that, Yeah, because you're not going to put Ant above them.
And then, Mahomes was 2019, I think?
2017.
17? Wow.
You've been playing for a while at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Here, I'll double check.
I'll say
Definitely.
no. If it's any, I can't imagine it's anyone besides Caitlin Clark.
Right.
But I think she...
She just doesn't have enough accomplishments yet either. Because,
Yeah.
even the women on this list, they had championships in the NCAA, and she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree, too. Will the WNBA or the NBA have more athletes named?
NBA.
Right now, the WNBA leads at 3-2.
NBA.
NBA. W should get...
If you're already putting Asia Wilson
Yeah, you're
in the
right.
90s,
They should... They'll get Super Diana Taurasi for sure.
I think there will probably be 5 more names on the list for them.
Yeah.
But I think there might be more than
Brianna
that for
Stewart
the
would
NBA.
probably make it.
Yeah.
I could see Stewie being probably in the 60s.
She should... I feel like she should have been in the same kind of group as
Yeah, but
Asia
we've already
Wilson.
acknowledged this list is
Yeah.
starting off stupid.
If Asia's on it, Brianna should be on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take NBA. There's just so
Right.
many phenomenal NBA
Yeah,
athletes.
'cause you gotta
NBA's
throw
been
in-
around longer. It's more
You have to
well-known.
throw in Steph,
Yeah.
LeBron, Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
at a minimum. I mean...
Tim Duncan,
Yeah, 2000s. There's so many players. Yeah,
Kobe.
Kevin Garnett. Yeah, there's too many.
Yeah,
Dwayne Wade probably.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one. How many sports outside of the 4 major in the U.S. will have more athletes named than the NHL?
Okay, outside of
So
The
not
other
counting
3.
basketball, baseball, or football.
we'll have more than the NHL.
Are you counting Olympic athletes all as one, or would you break
I
it
don't
down?
think so.
Swimming,
Because they have
track.
track as one
Okay.
of the categories. They have
Okay.
gymnastics as
That's
one of the
an
categories.
important clarification.
Yeah.
I might just take one. I might just say soccer. If you lumped all of Olympics together, I would say Olympics.
Oh, yes.
But
I still, I might. Would I take just track and field in general?
I mean, you got.
I think track currently has 2 athletes versus NHL's 1.
I mean, there have been since 2000. There have been so many phenomenal soccer
Yeah.
players.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure I'm taking soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
The other one in my mind is golf, maybe. They have Rory McIlroy as the sole person on the list right now.
You gotta put
I'm
in
thinking
Woods,
Tiger, Mickelson,
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler.
John Daly was, I don't know if he
No,
played enough of his career,
Daly won't make it.
but
Who Who else would you take? You might take. They
You said
probably wouldn't.
McElroy already made it.
McElroy made it.
Do you think they give it to DeChambeau? He's won more majors than McElroy, but he's so inconsistent.
They seem to be favoring age a lot, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I feel like you
gets
have to
for
give it
that
to
reason.
Scheffler, though, just because he's been so dominant so early in his career.
Yeah, I'd say for sure 3. Maybe you get a 4th or 5th.
But I think, NHL, you have, I guess you put Connor McDavid was already on there. Crosby's 100% going to be on there. I think Ovechkin will make it,
Ovechkin should.
which puts it at 3.
I don't think McKinnon will make it because I think Connor McDavid's been more impressive than him so
I
far.
think you got 3 for NHL.
You have like the older era, like Patrick Waugh might make it. You're going to get like Sakic. You're going to get players in that era, but I don't know how many of them will make this list.
Well, it's also, those guys, did they start their careers in the 90s and then finish in the 2000s? Because that's the other part, is that if you're finishing your career in the twilight, are they capping you at, like, how did you do 2000 on? Probably.
So Patrick Waugh did not play late enough, but Sakic was late enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll say 3 sports surpass it, saying that tennis or soccer for sure will.
Tennis too.
I do think tennis will do
tennis is
it
a
because
good
you've
call.
got Serena,
Federer,
and probably
Nadal.
Venus.
Venus is in this 25.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then for sure Serena, Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, maybe Andy Murray.
I'd probably say Andy Murray. He'll probably be in the next tier.
Yeah. Like, they're still young, but Alcaraz is really dominant right now. Probably not Medvedev. But I think tennis can get enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I'll throw in an additional spot for maybe track, maybe golf.
Yeah.
Like, one other sport could do it, so I'll say 3.
Yeah.
Track is also so far largely international, which is a reason that I think it might get above them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's probably a good number. But that's all the questions I had. But
I'll just say I will riot if Michael Phelps isn't one.
number 1
Yeah.
over Serena?
Yes. The man has the most gold medals in Olympic history by 15.
They also run the most events for his sport of anyone.
Yeah, but you have to understand, as a swimmer, winning gold in the butterfly and then winning gold in the breaststroke is like winning MVP as a quarterback and a tight end.
Right.
It is insanity.
It is really, it's super, super impressive, and he should be top 5.
I think she should be one. It's just doing all those events, winning 8 gold, like literally taking gold home in every event at the Olympics is disgusting. It's ridiculous. And also longevity-wise.
Yeah, he was doing it
He won gold medals in 4 Olympics, which is that's 16 years. And you ask most people, swimmers cap out at like 28. He was winning golds in London at 33. It's nuts. And he was winning golds in, what was that, Olympics? Sydney, I think? Or Athens at 16? So it's just, yeah. I think she would won. ESPN probably won't put him there. But Serena's definitely there. 100%. I think she should be top 3 for sure. I'd probably put her above Federer, surprisingly enough.
I mean, she was just beyond dominant.
I think winning a major while pregnant beats
Federer never did that.
Beats most things. I feel like Usain Bolt has to be up. That was like when I was doing my top 10.
Sure is.
Like Usain Bolt, Serena. I think you have to put Roger Federer top 10. Tiger Woods has to be top 10.
Probably
Nadal,
Michael Phelps
might be top 10.
LeBron's probably top. Yeah, LeBron's top 10 since
Tom Brady will be.
Yeah.
Tom Brady will be. Who else would I put up there? Katie Ledecky. I think Katie Ledecky should be top 10. The fact that in 3 of the events that she swims consistently, she holds, of the top 20 times in history, she holds at least 16 of the top 20 times in 3 events, is bonkers. Yeah. And in 2 of them, she holds all top 10. so she should be up there. I think Simone Biles
Simone, yeah.
should probably be top 10. And then fourth, I don't know who you'd probably have in the 10th.
Messi.
Probably Messi or Ronaldo is up there. I'd probably put Messi.
Yeah.
I was trying to decide if there's an MLB player. I don't think there's an MLB player.
I don't think there's an MLB in the top 10.
Cracks top 10. I think
certainly not an NHL player in the top 10.
Mike Trout probably is in the teams.
Yeah.
But, so that's what I mean. Of that top 10, we just named 2 of them are American major sports athletes.
Yeah.
So
maybe next week we'll react and make our own top 10, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
But
I like that idea. Let's shift over. We got AFC West NFL predictions coming up like we did last year and like we did last episode, but we didn't post this. We got to do it again. We're going to give you our standings predictions for the NFL divisions. Starting off in the AFC West, which I think we could all agree, picking the number 1 team for this division might be the easiest choice in the NFL. Considering the fact that every single one of us is picking the Chiefs at number 1. I'm picking them at 12-5. Jonathan, 1 game better at 13-4, and Micah, really bold, 15-2.
Oh yeah.
But we all got the Chiefs. I think because the Chiefs are amazing. They still have Mahomes. They still have Kelsey. They're going to be fine. And also,
they just won the Super Bowl and they didn't get worse.
Yeah. And then also in this division, after the Chiefs, it's a bunch of dog crap. So that also helps them out a lot too. So roll with the Chiefs. And then we're also all picking the Chargers for number 2. I'm going 10-7, Jonathan 12-5, Mike 9-8. Yeah, Chargers doubters.
I mean, I've just been a Charger hopeful for too long. Even with how easy their schedule is this season, I'm like, they're bound to mess this up. Me saying 9-8 is almost generous to them, I feel
to be fair, the only thing that Justin Herbert has to throw to this season is hopes and dreams. So
exactly, I really, really like Herbert, but he just has no hope.
I think that Justin Herbert, if you actually gave him help around him, easily top 10 quarterback in the league. Easily with all of his physical tools. It's just his wide receivers have sucked, and they got worse.
Yeah.
So I think Harbaugh will eventually help. I'm just not sure it's this season. Granted, I'm putting them at 10-7, so it's not like they suck in my mind. But I've seen people predicting them of Harbaugh's going to come in and completely turn them around, and they're going to be a playoff team. It's like,
I think it'll be huge for them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a major.
For sure, but I think
they have a cakewalk of a schedule, other than the twice they have to play the Chiefs. But
I just have so many doubts on offense. Their O-line still sucks. Herbert doesn't have anybody to throw to, which is a horrible combination. At least if you have somebody to throw to, at least you can. If you're getting rushed, you can throw up a hope and prayer, and the wide receiver can reel it in. There's nobody on the Chargers that I have confidence can help him out in that avenue.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then the bottom of the division, take your pick. Who's going to suck more? Broncos or the Raiders?
The Broncos.
It's a tight race.
Yeah, we win.
I'm taking. Well, I actually picked the Broncos and the Raiders to both go 6-11, and then I'm having the Broncos win on tiebreaker.
Yeah,
so, yay Broncos. Bo Nix slightly helps, and then you guys both have the Raiders in 3rd. You both have the Broncos going 4-13 because they suck. Oh, Micah also has tie with tiebreaker, just 1 or 2 wins fewer.
Yeah, wins the tiebreaker. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I might have under-pitched the Raiders. I think
they're terrible.
They are really bad. They had a surprisingly good end to their season when they switched coaches and put in, I think O'Connell is their QB, right?
Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell had a solid end of the season. They showed an increase at the end. They're still horrible. I don't know if they'll be able to carry it, but I think it's enough to say they're better than the Broncos, even if they have the same amount of wins.
Yeah, the Broncos are so weird this season because it legitimately all comes down to how good is Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos, granted, they're not going to be a playoff team. Bo Nix could be Aaron Rodgers reincarnated, and I'm not sure they would make the playoffs because I don't think they have enough. PFF
a couple weeks ago released their ranking of just talent on the 32 rosters, and they put the Broncos last. And I don't think I disagree with it. They have 1 star in Patrick Surtain. And then at every other position, they are okay.
Wide receiver probably below average.
I think almost every position group is below average.
Because you have Cortland Sutton, and then you have Tim Patrick, who you are praying to God doesn't tear another ACL.
Yeah, I think their O-line is slightly above average. I think that their cornerback group that's slightly above average. I think that everything else is below average. It's not a very hopeful year yet. They're going to have a long road ahead of them to rebuild. And you're really hoping to get like a couple of these guys turning into electric playmakers. Like if Bo Nix can develop into what Sean promised is the next Patrick Mahomes. Thanks, Sean Payton, for setting our expectations adequately low again, so we weren't disappointed again. But even if he is, I don't think he has enough around him yet. So.
That's fair.
Agreed.
All right. Well, next week we'll be doing the NFC West. So
who's in that division?
That's the Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, and Seahawks.
Okay.
So that will be a bit more interesting. To round things out for the night, Jonathan, over to you for some trivia.
All right.
Oh, God.
We are going to be playing a game called Ev John McTBD. For those of you who are fans of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you'll see we took a little bit of inspiration from
Am I going to be lost during
Shardy
this 'cause
McDinnis.
I've never watched it.
No, so we take inspiration from level 1 of Shardy McDinnis, or Mind. And in that, it's a trivia round, so we won't have any of those silly challenges where you have to get hit by a dart and not flinch. And we also won't be like implementing all of the drinking rules. I will occasionally offer you the opportunity to drink, but the big reason that we took inspiration from them is round 1 of that game was quote unquote trivia, but it was mostly just the crew wrote down questions and then immediately forgot the answers to things that were largely opinion based.
Dennis is asshole. Why Charlie hate?
Because Dennis is a bastard child! Anyways, I have 25 questions. We've had 25 episodes this season. Every single question is the hot take outro.
Oh God. Oh, no.
You guys are going to take turns answering questions. I will spin the wheel to randomly determine which episode you'll be, or technically it will determine which slide I reference, but it doesn't align with which episode. You'll see that soon.
Okay.
And
this is definitely going to need to be a drinking game.
I know. If you don't get it right, then your opponent has a chance to steal. Everything's worth 1 point. We will only answer 24 of the 25 unless we need the 25th, at which point it will just be back and forth first person who gets it.
Okay.
All right.
Who wants to go first? Is there an opinion on this? Should we pause briefly to get some alcohol?
Yes.
And we're back, all set with a little bit of beer to help us get through this mess of a game. Evan will be starting, and I will spin this wheel to see which slide he's going to get his question from. It will be slide number 13.
Well, that doesn't bode well.
Yeah, 13.
Woo! Slide number 13
Been watching a lot
is
of
from
shows.
episode number 8, which aired on November 10th. The question is, what team will make the playoffs?
Oh, this is awesome.
Okay, so how does this work? If I don't get it, can Micah steal?
Micah can steal.
Can I ask questions?
So that's the other thing I forgot to mention. You each can use a lifeline twice during this game. The lifeline will be learning who gave this hot take.
Oh my god.
All right.
Do you have to specify who said it, or can it...
You do not have to specify.
I'm going to say it's me saying that the Orlando Magic will make the playoffs.
Holy shit.
Let's go!
This was the only one that had both of you guys provide a hot take, and I would have accepted either. Evan said the Orlando Magic will make the playoffs.
Let's go!
All right.
Micah said the Brooklyn Nets.
Alright, it's all down here from hill. Oh, wow. It's all downhill from here.
It's all down here from Hill.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's
Hell of
super
a poll.
impressive. All right, let's spin the wheel to see what Micah will be answering. Micah will be answering the question from slide number 8,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I missed it. Does the
which is from
chance to steal
episode 17.
If you miss?
Yes.
Okay.
What will the Indiana Fever do?
Oh.
This aired on March 8th.
March 8th. Okay, so we're in July. 4 months ago. What? I'm gonna say win a championship in the next 5 years.
I will say you get it unless Evan beats it.
Okay. Be more specific.
I was going to say,
maybe.
thanks for... you should have just said no, because that gave me a major hint as to what to go up. Championship in the next 5 years. We'll win a championship in the next 3 years.
I'm going to say Micah still gets it. It's win a championship this year with Caitlin Clark. The trick here was, is this looking for they will draft Caitlin Clark or they will draft someone else and shock the world? But you saw through it. Because this was, I believe, before the draft. I don't remember for sure.
March 8th, yeah, that would have been pre-draft.
Yeah.
All right, Evan, the question you will be answering is on slide number 16. Slide number 16 contains episode 3. It aired September 28th. Who will go 16-1 this season, losing only to the Dolphins? Hope you listened to this one, because I don't think you were on this podcast.
I was gonna say, I know I did this one. But much like Charlie, I don't remember what I wrote.
Man. I must say the Kansas City Chiefs. Micah's saying Kansas City Chiefs.
No. Micah, chance to steal.
I think I said it was the Eagles.
You did say it was the Eagles.
I like this game.
All right, Micah, you'll get a chance.
The dumb part is that I thought Eagles, and I was like, no way Micah was that fucking stupid.
Oh no, I was so high on the Eagles.
This was after week 3 of the play of this regular season.
They were 3-0, and I was
They
like,
were.
oh, they're
The Cowboys, whatever.
All right, Micah, you will get first chance at this next question. This question is on slide number 17, and it was the episode 23, aired on June 3rd. Who will win the NBA championship, and how many losses will they have in total?
Oh. Okay, so I think if I remember this right, I was prepped with a hot take, and it was going to be about the Timberwolves. But I think Evan called you, and you gave this instead. Instead, it was the Nuggets. Or June 3rd. No, they would have been out by then, right? Would they have? Yeah. No. No. Oh, I'm so bad at dates.
That's a bit of a problem in this game.
I'll say Denver. I think you would have... Yeah, because it was after... Yeah. So you had already swept Lakers. You had gone down 2 to Minnesota, but you won the next 2, and that made you super confident. You were going to finish off Minnesota, and then... Were you going to sweep and then lose 2 more? No, it was a hot take, though. Maybe go undefeated the rest of the time? I'll say Denver Nuggets in total going 16-2.
No.
Damn it.
Evan.
Boston Celtics 0 losses.
Also no. This was your hot take, Micah.
Damn it. Was it Minnesota?
And you were mostly correct in your guess. It was after Game 4 of that series. It was the Nuggets to win it all with no more losses. But they lost once to the Lakers.
Damn it. They did.
They did.
Ah.
All right. Evan, you will be the first to answer this question.
Oh, God.
Which is contained on slide number 5. Slide number 5 contains episode 21, which aired on April 22nd. What will the Denver Nuggets do for the first time since the 1960s? To clarify, the first time for any team since the 1960s. Also, I meant to say this before this question was asked. Reminder, this is when it aired. The Nuggets were eliminated by June 3rd, but we didn't post it in time.
The Nuggets do for the first time since the 1960s. I'm going to say win the NBA Finals undefeated.
No. Okay.
I have no clue there.
This one's a tough one.
1960s.
Which is,
you might as well put for the first time since a long time ago, I think.
I did 1960s. I won't say anymore yet.
What would the Denver Nuggets do? Okay. April 22nd. Yeah, it's a phenomenal guess, Evan. That's what I would have said.
Yeah, right? I don't...
We'll say... Oh, man.
Everything I can think of, like, it's obviously not back-to-back. It's not back-to-back MVPs. It's not like... I don't know. It's gotta be some random shit. I don't even care that I'm helping him. We're in the struggle together.
Oh, no, I don't think that works. I have a... I have no guess. I don't know.
Pass.
Yeah.
Good reference. Yeah, I put 1960s in there not because it was part of a hot take, just to try and help make this slightly easier. It's win 4 championships in a row.
Okay.
And this was, of course, my hot take. All right. This will be Micah's first guess. He's currently leading 2-1. He will be guessing one from slide number 15, which contains episode 2. This one aired on September 21st. Who is finishing this NFL season 0-17?
Oh,
There's a lot of candidates for that.
I think I don't think I would have said them at the time. September 21st, so like right off the bat.
Remember, you have lifelines to reveal who had the hot take. I had an irrational fear going into today that you two would just happen to study up on our episodes.
I'll say Panthers.
No. Evan.
Pretty sure this was me saying the Arizona Cardinals.
That is exactly correct. Evan thought the Arizona Cardinals would go 0-17.
They're dog shit.
All right, Evan. You get first crack at this next question.
For the lead.
For the lead. This one will be slide number 19.
I want number 12.
Which is episode 20. Aired April 16th. What feat will the Detroit Pistons soon, in italics, accomplish?
April. What? What feat will the Detroit Pistons soon accomplish? Was I not here for this episode?
You were.
Was I? I feel like all the other ones I at least have a memory. Oh, but this one, no. What feat will the Detroit Pistons soon accomplish?
Do you not listen to the episodes where it's just Micah and I?
Micah's the one that doesn't listen to it. Because I feel like this is too late in the year to say worst record in NBA history. Because by April, they'd already surpassed that, I feel like. Because they won 16 games. So that can't be it. What feat will the Detroit Pistons soon accomplish?
In italics.
The soon is in italics, yeah.
Most consecutive number one overall picks?
No.
This was me saying they were going to have the longest playoff drought in major sports.
You are correct. In all 4 major sports history. And then Evan and I both just stared at each other for a solid 30 seconds without responding. It's like, bro, do you know how long some teams have gone? Alrighty. Micah takes the 3-2 lead, and he will start this round off by responding to the question on slide number, I'm going to guess 7. Was I correct, Micah?
You were.
Episode 25 aired never. Oops. What feat will Bo Nix accomplish this season?
Oh,
This is the last one. I have no clue.
Do you want to use your lifeline to see who thought this one?
no, because it has to be you. I would have never.
You don't care about Bo Nix?
No, there's no way Evan does. What if you will Bo Nix? Oh, was it have more touchdowns than bathrooms in his house?
No. That was said in the episode. And I'm very proud of you for thinking of that, but no. Evan.
Damn.
I thought of that too. I was like, there's no way we said that as the hot take. That'd be crazy. Man. Accomplished this season? Oh, were you bold? Did you say rookie of the year? Offensive rookie of the year?
No.
Okay.
I said more passing touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would never guess that.
All right. This one will be Evan going first.
12. Oh.
Slide number 22, which contains episode number 1. Aired on September 14th. Who is winning the AFC South division?
AFC South?
The AFC South division.
For a second, I thought NFC South. I was like, was this Micah's bullshit about the Bucks winning at 6-11? But no, AFC
did
South. Win. Yes, we know. Just not in a 3-way tie at 6-11.
Yeah. That was amazing.
AFC South division. This hurts worse because there's a 25% chance that you get it.
I know.
And if you miss it, you just...
If he remembers the 4 teams.
To be fair, the AFC South is...
It's one of the harder ones.
Yeah, it's one of the most forgettable divisions.
So obscure right now.
Was this you saying Houston Texans?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the only ones that we've ever gotten right.
What's a hot take? Like, there's no way any of us picked the Titans.
Right.
Like, saying the Colts or the Jaguars wouldn't have really been a hot take. So, I don't know.
Yep. I'm very proud of this one. It was kind of technically a hot take then. Because they went from worst to first. Yeah. I'm just saying, I nailed it in episode 1, and it was all downhill from there. All right, Micah.
Some of these still have a chance.
Micah, you will get first crack at slide 24.
Does yours,
which is episode 5.
Spinny app, keep track of how many we've done?
Not quantity, but it is removing the options that we've already done.
Okay.
It's 3-3, right?
It is currently 3-3.
That's a couple. I'm trying to think of how much more time I have to use my lifelines.
10, 11, 12, 13,
There's part of me that
14,
feels like
15.
Like
15 questions left after this one.
On some of these, though, it's almost like knowing the person's name I'm not sure would actually help me is the tough part.
All right. Episode 5 aired October 14th. What feat will Russell Wilson accomplish before he retires? Or what will he?
I mean, I'm just thinking of bathrooms again.
That's immediately where my mind went to.
We've joked a lot about this podcast.
But the funny thing is
How
that
do more people not listen to us?
the funny part is that outside of that, I'm not sure what hot take we would have.
Yeah, I don't think I would have made a take. I don't know if it would help me if I knew it was either of you. I'm just gonna October 14th though, so that would have been
It would have been a month into the season, so this would be before getting traded to the Steelers or anything.
yeah.
Because
They
I
had
would
that in the offseason. So
so like I would joke about I would say the bathroom one, but I feel like we wouldn't have said that until he got traded to the Steelers.
Right, and
is
it's
the hard
before he
part.
retires, so not this season, and that's early enough in the season.
We still had hope.
I'll say he accomplish before he retires. I'll use it has more touchdowns than bathrooms.
No. Evan.
Oh my gosh! What else? I don't know, man. Pass. I seriously have no clue.
This one was technically bold. He will win a championship with the Broncos sometime. That one was me.
Well, that's why we didn't. That's why we didn't think of it because it was so freaking ridiculous.
It was very, very bold. All right, Evan, you're up first for this one. 15 left, I think, if I counted correctly.
12.
I'm sorry, Evan. This one's going to be from slide number 10, which is, of course, episode 14. How did you not guess that? Aired January 21st. Who will win the Super Bowl? And I'm going to need to look this one up on my end because I honestly don't even remember it.
January 21. So that's like after the first couple rounds of playoffs already. This is Micah saying the Buccaneers are going to win. That's not my actual guess. Yeah, I'm audibly thinking. 21st. So let's see. Super Bowl second week. You have the first weekend of February off. So the last playoff or championship games would have taken place around like January 28th. So. Screw it. I'm going to say Micah saying the Buccaneers are winning the Super Bowl.
That's absolutely correct.
No, yeah. I had a feeling.
I was just going through the teams. I was like, what else would have been a bold tip?
Yeah, I think this was like right after. Did they win their first round
They beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what Michael's like, let's go! It's time to bake, baby!
Yeah. All right. Micah, you'll be guessing first.
I feel like that just shows you how well I know Mike.
Yeah.
You'll be going from slide number 4.
Oh, that's my favorite number.
Which is episode 15. Duh. Aired on February 7th. What will happen in the Super Bowl?
Okay, I'm gonna use the lifeline. Who said it?
This one, I believe, was me. Yep.
Alright. February 7th.
Do you remember this one?
No, I'm just thinking, when he said use a lifeline, I was like, there's definitely a who would say dumb shit here going
Definitely that.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Micah saw that it was himself, he'd be like, I said both teams will die.
It will end in a tie.
Oh, man.
Okay. Aired on the 7th, so that's...
It might have been after the Super Bowl.
No, we recorded this. We recorded this like the Monday before the Super Bowl. This would have aired, I think, the Friday before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because the Super Bowl was on the 9th and the 10th this year.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Jonathan said... I wonder if it was... Finals MVP related.
Finals MVP related.
Or Super Bowl MVP.
MVP.
That we'll say I don't feel like it's that bold. C-Mac wins Super Bowl MVP.
New.
based on the way you laughed at the beginning of this, I feel like it's definitely some dumb stuff. I also have no idea. I'm just did you pick Taylor Swift to win MVP?
No.
That's a great answer.
I almost want to give you a point, but I won't. Because something you said earlier was almost spot on. When you said both teams will die.
Oh, you said they were going to get nuked or something.
There will be no Super Bowl. I was so lost for a hot take, and you threw it at me. I'm like, all right.
Oh, man.
Evan, you're going to guess first.
God.
Slide number 23, which is, of course, episode 22. Who will win the NBA championship?
Oh my God.
I'm going to look this one up as well.
May? So this is what, right before playoffs start?
I think so. Yeah.
So I feel like this is probably a serious one. And just one of us saying an underdog team.
You have 2 lifelines.
Come on, use one. I already used one.
I'll use it.
This one was you.
Orlando Magic.
Let me double check, but I think the answer is no. The answer is no.
Alright.
Who the heck would have said that?
Evan was right before the championship. Okay.
It's the only team I can remember this entire season being like, yeah, they're gonna win stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like he would have said them.
I think I know the actual answer now, but
I don't think he would have said them. Kind of just going through playoff teams. Boston would have been hot. Yeah, I don't think he said Bucks.
I mean, you can eliminate like half the teams because they wouldn't have been hot takes.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Maybe he said Knicks. I'll say Knicks.
Nope.
I said Mavericks.
Nope.
Really?
You said the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then
Oh, yeah.
Micah and I went, they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Micah. You're
But I
going
think at
first
that
on this
time they were
one.
like the 8th favorite betting wise to win.
They were
it,
not
so-
very well favored.
Still 3-3.
Still 3-3.
All right.
Cheers to that, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Slide number... Oh, sorry. 4-3. Evan's up. Slide number 11, which is, of course, question number 10. Evan is up. Not you, Micah.
Yeah, he said and pointed at me like, screw you.
Gotcha. Episode 10 aired November 19th. What will be the final score of Eagles versus Chiefs Monday Night Football game?
I go first in this, right?
You do.
I feel like you.
We have to nail it?
I think
I will not answer that question.
you gave.
I'm certain in my mind what I need to hear from you.
What will be the final score of the Eagles Chiefs? It's either absurdly high or absurdly low.
Or the number 69.
I'm gonna say. Do I need to say what team wins? Or just,
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say you said Chiefs win 3-0.
No.
Chiefs win 6-9.
No. I would have accepted any score that met what Evan's hot take was, which is Eagles win by at least 20.
Okay.
All right.
That's another one. You could have told me that I said it. Would have had no clue.
Evan, you will start. We have 10 questions left. Unless there's a tiebreaker, then we'll have 11.
All right.
You will answer the question on slide number 12.
Yay!
Episode 13 aired December 12th. What will Miami's playoff fate be?
December 12th. Oh. I'm going to use a lifeline.
All right.
It was me.
This was Micah.
All right. They're winning the Super Bowl.
No.
Really?
I will say exactly what happened. I said Miami will miss playoffs. You both gasp. I go Heat.
That is exactly correct. Yeah. That's why I was ambiguous about league in the question. All right. Micah, you will answer first.
Tied 4-4.
Tied 4-4. Each have one lifeline left. You're going to slide 25.
25, baby.
Which is, of course, question number 6. Aired on October 21st. Who wins the NBA championship in 2027?
I'm pretty sure this was my bullshit. I think I said Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode, I had so much fun with the outro music in this one. I don't know if you listened to it.
Oh, I do remember that.
But you're like,
Yeah.
the Oklahoma City Thunder will win the championship. And I went, in 2026, 27, 26, 27. The Oklahoma City Thunder will win the championship in 26-27.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Suck a dick.
All right, Evan. 8 questions left. You're answering the question on slide numero 3, which is, of course, episode 18. Aired on March 15th. Which teams will be the champion and runner-up in the NBA Finals, respectively?
Champion and runner-up. I'm going to say Boston Celtics champion with Denver Nuggets runner-up.
No. You can use your lifeline on a steal if you want.
I will.
Okay. This one was me.
Okay. So,
Just flip what I said.
I mean, I'm nearly positive, but I gotta think. I don't think you would have said Bucks or Orlando. or Cleveland. Definitely not. Oh, March 15th, though? Maybe you said Philly. That's the only other team I could think you could have said. Denver beats... Boston.
Nope.
Was it Philly?
Nope. Denver beats the Miami Heat.
Oh, all right. I was not going to guess that.
Yeah. All right. Micah, you're up first. You have no lifelines.
All right.
You're going to slide number 18.
18, baby. 18.
Woo! Is episode 7. It aired on October 27th.
Oh, shit.
What will the Packers' record be this season?
14-3.
No.
Question is, was this me or was this one of you making fun of me?
You have one lifeline left.
What will the Packers record be this season? Just trying to think what would have been a hot take. Like, would we have gone high or low? Is the bigger thing. I'm trying to think of what each of us predicted the Packers. This is October. Do I have to hit it spot on?
Yeah.
Okay, so in October they probably would have had 2 wins?
5-12.
Nope. The answer was 2-15. This was you, Evan. You thought you were correct though. They did only have 2 wins at the time, and you thought they would not win a single game the rest of the season.
They were playing like it.
They were. All right, Evan, you're answering first on slide number.
Slight overreaction on my part.
You're going to slide number 26, Evan, which aired on December 9th. What will the record be of the best team to miss playoffs?
Did you intentionally leave the league ambiguous?
Yep.
You bitch. This has to be about the NFL because it's way too far away from NBA playoffs. With the record of the best team to miss playoffs. Say 12-5.
No.
13-4.
Holy shit, no.
I was shooting high at 12-5.
So the specific hot take was 2 teams will miss at 10-7.
I didn't think of the 2 teams thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I was thinking 11-6. I was like, that doesn't feel like that hot. So yeah,
Right.
overshot it.
My guy. You're answering first.
What is it? 5-4, Micah?
It is 5-4 Micah.
Number 9.
Engine number 9. Which is, of course, episode 16. Aired on February 24th. Who will be the finals MVP?
Of the Super Bowl, of course.
You know, if it was Micah who said it, then maybe.
3 weeks after the Super Bowl happened.
February, so it's well before.
I don't know, why were we predicting finals MVP in February? Jesus.
I really wish I had a lifeline to know who said this. I don't think he was going on his tear yet. Maybe I would have. Would I have said?
Say your thoughts out loud for the audience.
Okay.
He's trying to not give me any
I'm trying to know. I'll say Derek White.
Yup. Micah said Derek White.
I'm so mad. That's what I was going to guess.
Really? Holy shit. All right. 4 questions left unless we need a tiebreaker. Evan, you will answer first.
I need to pick it up here. Wow.
We're going to slide number 14, which was episode 4, aired October 7th. What seed will the Trailblazers be at the end of the regular season?
We're 7th. Okay, so at that time, Mike and I might have still had hope. So I feel like the hot take would probably be that they were higher than we would have. Although we are Blazers fans, so we might have guessed 15. Honestly, this was either Mike or I that said this, and using a lifeline, I don't think that's going to help me out. What seed will the Blazers be? Tenth seed?
No.
Oh.
Was that what you were going to say?
I kind of thought... I hope this doesn't screw me in a future question. I'm going to ask a clarifying question, but I feel like his answer ruled it out. Did we say a specific seed number?
I will not answer your question. I know what you need to say.
I feel like I, at some point... Or maybe that was just a bet I made.
I have no recollection of this hot take at all.
Yeah. No, that was no. I think at one point I had said that Blazers will participate in the play-in, but I think that was just a bet. And if you said 10, that would count.
Yeah.
So it can't be that. I'll say had to have been a hot take, so it had to have been high.
High or ridiculously low. Like, that's the thing. Like, because at the time,
yeah.
I think at the time us saying 15 would have been hot, but I don't helping it out. I don't think we would say.
No. I would have accepted anything that fit your hot take of top 6 seed.
Huh. That was, very hot.
Hopeful fuck.
Wow. Oof.
All right, Micah, you're answering this one first. On slide number 20 lies the episode 24, aired June 3rd as well. There were 2 on that date. What will the Kansas City Chiefs fail to do next season?
So this was pretty recent. Well, after...
None of us would be stupid to say not make the playoffs.
Right?
That's the only hot take I can think, right?
Fail to do next season. What could they...
Not win the Super Bowl? Like a double negative? I don't even care that I'm helping him at this point. It's more just fun to try and
What will Kansas City fail to do? Gosh. Make it out of the wild card games?
No.
not make the Super Bowl?
No. The Kansas City Chiefs, according to Micah, will not win their division.
I should use the lifeline. If I know this Micah, I would know it's some dumb shit.
I don't remember saying that.
I don't either. But
All right, Evan.
if I had seen Micah, I would have been okay. So it's something stupid.
Evan, you're going to need to get both of these next two.
Yes.
I try to go really hot on my take.
You do.
Oh, man.
2.
All right, slide number 2 is episode number 19. Evan's going first. This one aired March 25th. What will the Timberwolves' playoff fate be? You still have your last lifeline.
Yeah, I'll use it.
This one was you.
Oh.
It would have helped me more if it said either of you. I'm going to say lose in the first round.
I'm going to double check on my phone, but I'm pretty
That's
sure.
the only thing I think I could say. Because I think they were the 1 seed at the time. I said they were too young. They're going to lose in the first round.
They will be eliminated in the first round.
Wow. All right, nice. I was going on the other end of that.
All right. Micah will answer this question first.
Oh, man.
Come on, Micah, make it a contest.
If he gets it right, or if Evan gets it wrong, the game is over. We're going to slide number 9. Episode number 16 aired on February 24th. Who will be the finals MVP? Oh, sorry. This is slide number 6. I was reading it upside down.
It's like Derek.
Episode number 11 aired on December 2nd. Who will win the NBA MVP within the next 3 years?
Oh, this is for sure my bullshit of like, it's not going to happen this year, but give it 3 to 5 years. I want to say it falls in line with... Okay, I'm not answering this for sure, but I want to say it's Shy Guy. That's my first thought. Maybe if it's Evan, he would have said some dumb shit about it being like Shaden Sharp. How dumb do you think I am? I'm in my...
Mister, the Chiefs aren't going to win the division over here. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll go with Shy Guy.
Nope.
I think I was solid second guess, but... Oh, actually, I think...
Thanks for whittling it down for me.
I actually think I know what this is. Maybe.
Years. There's just one name that keeps popping up for me, so I guess I gotta rip it. Wemby?
No.
Did he say Paolo?
No. This was Micah. Which means it had to be absolutely ridiculous.
Was it Shaden Sharp?
Austin Reeves! Austin Reeves!
That's what I lose the game on?
That's
Just for fun, let's see what the question you could have gotten was. What feat will the Nuggets accomplish this season? Aired November 12th.
I mean, he guessed this earlier, but is this a perfect playoffs?
No.
November. This is a long episode. My God.
I know. Yeah, at first I thought I might add sound bites for all of these, like the hot take that we did, but that's gonna be a lot.
You'll have to edit out a lot of blank space.
I think so.
What people the Nuggets accomplished this season? I have no. I already lost, so I have no clue.
They will set the new win total record.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who said that?
That was me.
I lost because of Austin fucking Reeves winning an MVP award.
Let's go, my God. Your hot takes won this episode.
I think I accomplished having the hottest takes.
And I had the most ones that were correct, with a total of 1. If this experience taught me anything, though, it's that Evan, by far, did the least hot takes this season. So why don't we start to even that out? Thanks for listening, everybody. Evan, send us out with a hot take.
The Charlotte Hornets are going to be a top 6 seed in the East next year.
It's almost as bold as the Trailblazers doing it last year.
Except the Hornets are in the blind conference.
All right, good night.